This is a News 3 Now special report.
Thanks for joining this News 3 Now special report. I'm Christina Laurie. Less than 3 months since the first known coronavirus death in the U.S., the country's fatalities now make up more than 25% of the global death toll. Nearly 52,000 Americans have died of the virus so far, and that number grows every day as a result of new fatalities and states reviewing previous deaths that had not been linked to the disease. This weekend, new efforts by some states to trace more cases are expected to give officials a better idea of the magnitude of this pandemic. Those in addition to testing, which experts say is still not where it needs to be. In New York State, one of the hardest hit parts of the country, new test results found that nearly 14%, or 2.7 million people, showed evidence of past infection.
If it turns out that it's higher than we even think, that's good and that's bad. On the one hand, it's bad because that means that a lot of people have been infected and probably spreading it asymptomatically, and that's hard to get your arms around. On the other hand, it's good because if it's asymptomatic and people recover without us knowing it, then no harm, no foul.
The U.S. has conducted about 5.1 million tests so far, but Dr. Anthony Fauci, the nation's leading epidemiologist, says that number must increase fast. Two new reports from public health experts and economists highlight that in order to safely reopen states, the country needs to conduct millions of tests per week. Here in Wisconsin, we are entering the first full day of Governor Tony Evers' second Safer at Home order and hitting new unfortunate milestones, too. In the last 24 hours, there were more than 340 new cases in the state, the largest single-day increase so far. There has been a surge in cases in Brown County in particular, around Green Bay, where meat packing plants have been heavily impacted. Here in Dane County, cases continue to rise, but at a slower pace. There were 9 new reported cases in the past 24 hours. But even as our numbers continue to rise, a vocal group of Wisconsinites are ready for the state to reopen. The Capitol Police Department estimates about 1,500 people gathered outside the Capitol Friday in opposition to Governor Evers' Safer at Home order. Speakers there said they didn't feel like their voices are being heard and are demanding businesses reopen. Most people were not wearing masks and ignoring social distancing guidelines. Counter-protesters are taking a different approach, going online. Starting this weekend, organizers are asking people to post photos on social media using the hashtag SaferAtHomeWI. We spoke with a Madison nurse who says Friday's protest at the Capitol is a step in the wrong direction when it comes to fighting the virus.
I'm very disappointed and frankly frightened by what the protests would pose in our state. We've already seen positive cases increase since the in-person election that occurred a couple weeks ago. And I know that we still have many of the same concerns that have not been resolved.
Counter-protesters also plan to use other hashtags like Support Safer at Home WI, Support Governor Evers, and You Are Why I Stay Home. The annual Mifflin Street block party was originally scheduled for tonight. That will not happen, and the Madison Police Department says no festivities will be tolerated at all this year.
The cops told us that, normally on Mifflin they kind of work with people and they're only going to ticket you if you're kind of messing up or you're, having a huge party and doing really illegal things, but they told us this year it's going to be a strict zero tolerance, like nobody there.
Police say anyone who gathers for the block party will be cited. The minimum fine for creating a public health nuisance is $376. Chief Vic Wall is optimistic students still on campus will do the right thing and stay home.
Everybody, even the college kids, recognize that this is a public health concern. And, they can wait a few weeks before they get together and drink a few beers. But the health of the community and their peers, their parents, their family really depends on everybody, sort of doing the right thing in this case. So.
The chief also says that if any UW-Madison students are cited, officers will share their information with the dean of students. For the first weekend this year, golf courses are open, but it won't be your typical tee time experience. Oak Ridge in Milton is requiring its golfers to practice safe social distancing.
choices we make as a community is affecting everyone in the community.
So I don't want golf to be the bad example out there, like that we're, not following orders.
Another course making changes is Odana Hills. The course will be roped off, including the driving range and putting green. Golfers won't be able to use carts or go into the clubhouse either, so they've added porta potties, and groups larger than 4 people will not be allowed. Some good news now. The Madison Fire Department is showing support for local healthcare workers. A group of fire trucks and ambulances participated in a drive-by salute Friday, making sure to drive past all of the city's hospitals and emergency rooms. Members from the ER came out to wave as they drove past, and that's such a great sight to see. Fire Chief Stephen Davis says, as partners in emergency medical care, we have the privilege of working with these remarkable people every day and seeing their dedication up close. And in other parts of the country, pilots are getting together to conduct flyovers, showing support for their local healthcare workers. This is video from San Diego, California, where pilots flew over several hospitals in that area Friday. All weekend long, flyovers like this will be happening in different cities across the country. Well, thank you for joining us for this special report. We'll have more on our evening shows and always on our website, channel3000.com. But for now, hope you all have a wonderful day.